Game on the line. Who would take the last shot?
Me. That's a dumb question. Me.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening? Early afternoon, Channel 6, live stream. Of course, you can see in the heading what's going on while we're here today. R-Truth, Ron Killings, K Quick, K Crush, Ron the Truth, whatever you want to call him, announced on his Twitter today that he has been released by WWE. We're not sure necessarily what that means. It could mean that he's been released or he's gonna do the rest of his contract and then he'll be done with the company. Hopefully that means he'll do the rest of his contract and he'll be done with the company. So maybe we'll see him a little longer. I'm hoping that's what that means. So if let's say his contract is till the end of the month right now, the end of the year, excuse me, then we'll see him to the end of the year. Hopefully the end of his contract doesn't mean today. And hopefully that doesn't mean that if they do utilize him, that they just don't dog him out on his way out the door. I'm hoping that that's not what that means. So I don't like it. You've been reading across socials. No one's taking it well. He's a well-beloved superstar, well-beloved wrestler. This was his second tenure with WWE. He came back to the company in around late 2007, early 2008. He had been with the company before, came around 2000. He was tagged with a Road Dogg Jesse James. The first time he came, he didn't come as R-Truth. He came as K Crush, then K Quick, Road Dogg. He got released by the company around that time. So then Truth was on the roster for the rest of the time by himself. He disappeared around the invasion. We didn't see him anymore. He got released around the end of the year. Then he popped up in NWA TNA and had a good long run there. He was a two-time NWA champion there. He defeated Ken Shamrock for his first TNA title. It was a tournament they had. He had met Ken Shamrock in the tournament final, and then he defeated AJ Styles in either a gauntlet style match or a King of the Mountain for a second NWA title in TNA. Once NWA left TNA, he never captured the actual TNA championship, because by then this was like 2007, so that would be around the timeline that he was doing the tag team work with Team Pac-Man, when Pac-Man Jones was doing the tag team work with the NWA when he was on his NFL suspension. So he did the tag team work with Pac-Man Jones, and that would push him towards the end of the year. So around that time, around end of 07, early 08, he's back in WWE again for his 18-year run. Very long run. Once again, if you're joining us again, R-Truth has been released by WWE. Unfortunately, 18 years, 2 weeks ago, he had just had a match with John Cena on Saturday night's main event. really a nothing match. It wasn't even a match for the title. It was a non-title matchup, which I don't get because there was so much they could have done with that match. If they knew they were gonna let him go, they could have done a title versus career, or it could have been just a straight up retirement match with no title on the line. He could have easily lost the match and then announced his retirement. He could have pulled a JBL, grabbed the microphone, said I quit. There was a lot of different ways they could have done this. Way better than what they done today. Just a message on social media. He deserved way more than this. He was a loyal soldier to the company, a great ambassador. As far as I know, he never had any wellness violations. If he did, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I know, he didn't. So, in that term, he didn't. At the age, he was in his early 50s. So, he always kept himself in shape. Kept it, maintained his health and his body for his age, because even though he was in his early 50s, he didn't look it. He still pretty much looked the same way he looked when he started 20 years ago, 25 years ago, during his first WWF run when he was with Road Dogg Jesse James. So, I mean, he pretty much took care of himself. So, yeah, this is nuts. Now, we don't know what's ahead. He could easily be re-signed a couple months from now, a year from now. They could easily bring him back. This could be a restructure type issue. We see this with pro sports. They might just let this contract expire and bring him back at a lower rate. You never know. We'll just have to see. Um, he could go to TNA, but well, back to TNA, but we don't know how that'll work with the partnership with WWE. He could go to AEW, but that's a very bloated roster right now. He could go. Yeah, he would get a nice rollout for the first couple weeks, first couple months, but then he'd fall to the wayside just like everyone else. So what would be the point of going? If he's gonna go, he needs to have a plan. They need to have a plan for him, or he can go to be a host. I mean, backstage interviewer, commentator, whatever. He could have easily done that with WWE. They could have easily transferred him over to commentary or backstage interviewer. I mean, especially right now with Corey Graves out, he could have took Corey Graves' spot in NXT because he's out on maternity leave right now because his spouse just had a child. So they could have put him there. There's lots of places they could have put him. They could have, but anywhere but sending him home. Anywhere. Anywhere but sending him home. Don't mind me. I'm trying to change the thumbnail to the current live. That's why if you're wondering why I keep looking down. But yeah, once again, if you are joining, R-Truth got released by WWE today. It's crazy. One of his notable runs back in TNA was The three live crew stable he had when he rejoined with Road Dogg. He went by Jesse uh Jesse James Armstrong in TNA, I think. And he was with K Dog Conan down there, and there was a stable. Um 3-man faction, they rap group. It was basically the TNA version of the Filthy Animals. If you're not familiar with the faction, they had tag titles. They, of course, like I say, Truth got a NWA championship in that run. Conan got a title in CMLL or AAA during that run because he was working back and forth in Mexico and Puerto Rico while he was in TNA. Of course, he eventually branched off from Three Live Crew and started LAX. And Road Dogg branched off to work with Billy Gunn when he got to TNA. Billy Gunn changed his name to Cute Kip Balls and started Voodoo Ken Mafia. So that left R-Truth on his own to do the run with Pac-Man Jones and do another solo run. So yeah. So he made a lot of his time there. He was in the X division, won some tag team championships. Um while he was there, he had shot 2 movies while he was in TNA. Remember that one part in Head of State when him and Road Dogg Jesse James beat up Chris Rock. Yeah, that part was from they shot that during the segment with TNA. I don't know if y'all remember when Chris Rock showed up. Yeah, that was from an episode of TNA. They filmed that segment for that part in Head of State when Road Dogg and Chris Rock when Road Dogg and R-Truth beat up Chris Rock. That's what that was for. And you can see him in the background, that Mickey Rourke movie, The Wrestler. And he did one WWE studio feature with Trey Songz called Blood Brother. Never saw it. I know it exists. Seen the trailer, know it exists. Never saw it. But the only reason I know about the Head of State because that's Chris Rock and Bernie Mac. So of course we seen that. Everyone knows about his music. Uh, One of the few wrestlers that carry over his theme music from promotion to promotion, lyric for lyric, beat for beat. Um, he's been making his own original music forever. Anytime there's a vignette or a documentary out, they always showed him in his studio working on the original music. Showed him in his dance studio, so he always choreographed uh dancing martial arts type kicks in his move set, the acrobatics, flips, what have you. So yeah, he always had a unique move set. A casual wrestler at first glance would compare his move set to Booker T. That's what you would compare his move set to. Uh, a dream match. A lot of people, such as myself, always wanted to see was not me. Hell no. Booker T versus R-Truth, but their timelines never connected, so we never really got the match. Was able to get that match because when R-Truth was on his way out of WWF the first time, this was around the invasion because he really wasn't part of the invasion storyline like that. Booker T and K Crush, K Quick, or Truth never crossed paths. And plus, Booker T was a main character on the Alliance side. R Truth was a background character on the WWF side. Plus, he was on his way out. And he ended up in TNA, NWA a couple months later. When Booker T was on his way out of WWE and headed to TNA, Ron Killings was on his way out of TNA, headed back to WWF. So they didn't get to go against each other in TNA. By the time Booker T made it back to WWE, he was pretty much retired. He only did Royal Rumble appearances. He did one-offs and tag matches. He did a couple matches here and there. So we never really got to see them go against each other. And they had a similar move set, you know, similar speed, similar strength. So it just would have been cool to see to see that match, how they would have been able to put together a match. Unfortunately, we never got to see that. Really would have been good to see him and Conan go against each other also, but him and Conan was always tagged up together. So to my knowledge, I don't think him and Conan actually ever had a match against each other. They always had matches together. So that was crazy. Um uh so hello to everybody jumping in on the chat once again. You can see on the headline, R Truth released by WWE / TKO. This was his second tenure in WWE. He came back to the company 2018. Um, he was born January 19, 1972 in Atlanta, Georgia. Raised in North Carolina. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I said, I was hoping, a lot of us was hoping something was gonna come out of that program with him and John Cena a couple weeks back. You know, they had a little rollout. He had a T-shirt. You know, he was getting a lot of camera time, but nothing really came about it. So, so yeah, I don't get it. I do not understand at all why it, and trust me, if uh if it was a wellness violation, we would know. Triple H on Twitter right now, Dick riding Therese Halliburton. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Oh man, one of Jeff Cobb's most previous posts is "I hate you, R Truth." You know, it was in character and in jest, but it's just crazy. You got a lot of shout outs from people like Carmelo Hayes, Ricochet. So I mean, yeah, you know these is youngsters. They probably look at the R Truth as a big OG, or OG figure, uncle or whatever. So Joaquin Wild, aka Z My Ion, giving them a shout out. I'm gonna read his tweet right quick. Joaquin Wild, LWO. Like I say, also known as Zima Iron and TNA. FCW Trial 2010. Ron Killen speaks to all of us, tells his story, how he came from a music background and brought that to wrestling. Someone raises their hand and asks, what if we don't come from some other background? What if we just love wrestling and want to be wrestlers? True says, well, that's your story, but it's not that interesting because everyone has that story. Yeah, I'll never forget that moment because that was a game changer for me. I realized I might be one dimensional, but it forced me to do some soul searching and figured out what I was passionate about in life besides pro wrestling. I realized I have always loved music. My DJ producer journey started pretty soon after that, and I was always able to bring that background into my pro wrestling career too. So in a way, DJ Z was a lot of my early opportunities and success in wrestling. I would have never happened without our truth and forgotten to thank him personally and let him know without him speaking to us at FCW that day, I may have not have made it where I am now. He helped me change my trajectory, and I just wanted him known publicly. Also, because of him, I may have not never started making beats. DJ on Sway in the morning and made my Spotify Wild West, or dropped an entire album remixing Japanese wrestling entrance themes coming soon. So thank you for everything, Truth. And he posted a picture of himself with the LWO with our Truth in the background. So yeah, he was a beloved figure in the background. Uh, Samantha Irvin, one word post, unreal. Of course, that's related, got to be related to our Truth. Tom Pestock, former Baron Corbin, mind blowing. A true company guy and an amazing person. Thank you for everything in and out of the ring, my friend. Yeah. So I mean, so he's a beloved figure, very beloved figure. Very super OG, super rep. So that's how you know he was doing right in that locker room. For everybody to like you like that, you was legit. You was A1. Because it's a lot of people probably get let go that don't get love like that. It's people get let go. Excuse me. That's just like at your you can say this at your regular job. It's people get let go that you're probably happy to see leaving. So for people to be pouring out their heart and showing love like that, that's a big deal. So hey, one thing about he's gonna land somewhere. It's plenty of open avenues for him. He's been doing music forever. He did music before he got into wrestling. Uh, I'm pretty sure doors is opening up, in the acting field, especially comedy. He can probably do a stand up, a 10-15 minute stand up routine and go kill it on the club circuit. He's been doing TikToks forever, Instagram. Instagram skits on Instagram, TikTok, what have you. He's been doing skits and videos on YouTube forever. I'm talking about he got videos on his YouTube account going all the way back to like 2008, 2009, 2010. So I mean, he been on the digital, on the social media digital tip. So that ain't gonna be nothing. He been shooting vignettes, music videos. He been doing that on his own forever. He got self-made music videos. He got shot all the way back when he was in TNA. That he shot all the way back in 2005, 2006. So that ain't gonna be nothing. He's self-made for real now. So that ain't gonna be nothing. Um, don't expect to hear any like crazy shoot videos from him. Clearly, if he's been in the company for a combined, if you combine both of his runs together, 20 plus years, he ain't got nothing bad to say. Because when you think about it, the first time he got let go, that was probably back in 2001. That was because of the WCW ECW merger, and the company was so bloated they just had to downsize. They got so many people in the company at that time. They had to decide, okay, well, who we gonna keep? We got this many people. If we got this many top ranked people from these two companies coming in, the people at the bottom that we already got, they got to be gone. So it was a business move that first time. So wasn't no big deal. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have anything bad to say. So you're not gonna hear any bitter videos like that. You're not gonna hear any situations about somebody being racist or nothing like that. He Especially during that 24/7 era, he really got to do a whole lot. I wish he could have got more title shots. That's it. That's my opinion. But I think he got to do what he wanted to do. I really think he got to do what he wanted. 100%. So, but me personally, but a gunslinger got to be a gunslinger. To use that analogy. I mean, if he wants to wrestle, he wants to wrestle. I mean, he could go if he can go anywhere he wants. He's entitled to go anywhere he wants. But I don't know how closely he's paid attention to AEW since it started. But if he goes, he need to understand. Um, they're not. He'll get a unless something changes. He's gonna get that rollout. He's gonna get that rollout for the first couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and then nothing. Might get shifted over to Ring of Honor, and then nothing. He'll be a background character. Who knows? So I wouldn't do it. At least not right now. I would try. I would seriously consider TNA right now. That's what I would. That's what I would. That's what I would try right now. I mean, that's why. That's why I would. That's why I would do. He has the prior history there. Um, they got plenty of stock footage, so you can make. You got plenty of highlights you can play. TNA right now has access to his WWE footage, so that's what I would do right now. Or they can bring him back. Why not make him? Why not make him a backstage interviewer or a commentator? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this feed. 30-minute mark. Appreciate everybody who jumped on the live. Then again, I don't know. Might stay on a couple minutes longer. Let me see, because I should talk about that damn Eastern Conference Finals for last night, but we're gonna do an actual Channel 6 show later on tonight. So I guess we'll talk about that later. So I don't know. But real quick on that, real briefly, on that, the Indiana Pacers did beat the New York Knicks to go to the NBA Finals. They go to the NBA Finals, and so for the first time in a long time, by the time everything is said and done, we're gonna have a new NBA champion. Either way, we're gonna have a new NBA champion, and that's some cool shit. That's some cool shit. Either way, rather it's the Pacers or the Thunder, you're gonna have a new champion. And all you nerds out there talking about some damn ratings and big market and small market, y'all ain't got to watch. That's a little preview for what we gonna discuss later on. Y'all ain't got to watch. You ain't got to watch. You ain't got to watch. You ain't got to watch at all. But one more time, just just to run just to run back through. Uh, Ron Killings was released today from WWE. He had been back with the company since 2008. This was his second run. His first run was in the year from late 1999 to the end of 2001. He got let go around the time of the WCW ECW invasion. He had popped up around NWA TNA around that time, and he did some time in XPW also. During that run in TNA, he teamed up, had a faction with Conan and Road Dogg Jesse James, because Road Dogg had got released from WWF around that time. What's so funny is in that WCW documentary, Road Dogg told a story about how he showed up in Panama trying to get a job with WCW, and this was the day of the final Nitro. That's how he found out WWF was getting bought. So ain't that messed up? You trying to show up at a new job, and the job you trying to get hired at just got bought by the job that just fired you. Ain't that a bitch? But anyway, so he was with Conan and Road Dogg, had that fetch. He was a two-time NWA champion. By the time TNA broke their relationship off with NWA, and it was just a regular TNA championship, he never captured the actual TNA championship because he won the TNA tag team championship with Pac-Man Jones of the NFL. But after that, he went back to the WWE, and that was around late 07, early 08 time frame. I'm not sure specifically. I think he actually signed, penned the paper around late 07 and went and appeared on TV around early 08, something like that. But anyway, um, got back to the company, won the United States Championship, won a tag team championship. He won pretty much every championship except a world title and a cruiserweight championship, of course. Um, that was it. He pretty much won every championship there. Had a pretty good career. When they introduced that 24/7 championship, which was basically the hardcore championship without the blood, it was basically the same rules as the hardcore championship. But since we were still in the PG era, you could only do so much with that championship. So it had a comedic tone. You wasn't getting a lot of hardcore stuff with it. You wasn't gonna get blood, but R-Truth made it work. He made it work. And anytime that 24/7 championship wasn't around his waist when other people had it, it sucked. Like when Elias had it, it sucked. When Shelton Benjamin had it, it sucked. I want to say it was for a little while. Hell, I want to say yeah. When Riddick Moss had it, it sucked. So yeah, other people had it, it didn't work. Maria Kanellis, first of all, she was a woman and she was pregnant, so you can only do so much with it. Yeah, but Truth made that title work. As bad as we wasn't a fan, as much as we wasn't a fan of it, he made that title work. So imagine if it wasn't a PG restriction and they could have actually brought back the legit hardcore championship, the things he could have done with that. But he made it work. That was one of the few bright spots of the COVID era, Thunderdome era, because they had to actually, film segments surrounding the 24/7 championship, and then you'd have the the layup line, I would call it, or the conga line of all the superstars that would run out trying to do a bunch of pins or whatever in a segment, trying to get a 24/7 championship, and now R-Truth got to run through the Thunderdome all night, run through the parking lot all night trying to get a championship, lose it, get it back, lose it, get it back, lose it, get it back. Then by the end of the show, he got his title back. All through the week on social media, we see him lose the championship. Sometimes it, you would see him on the plane like Jinder Mahal. He pinned Jinder Mahal in his sleep on the plane to get his title back. Stuff like that. Hilarious. So, you know, it's all good, man. It's gonna work out. We'll hear more about it as more stuff come along. Um, we don't do a whole lot of these lives. We were meant to come on last night after the Pacers and Knicks, but we had other stuff going on. Like I say, we're gonna do an actual full show later on. We're definitely gonna do a show after game one of the Thunder and the Pacers. So get ready. But once again, unfortunately, R-Truth release from the WWE. One of my favorites. One of our favorites. We appreciate you, Truth. We can't wait to see what you got going on next. Channel 6, we out.
You can be anything you want to be. Remember, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't do the